All right there, folks. We're here at UK Games Expo. I'm here talking with Dave, and we're going to be talking about Distilled. Tell us a little bit about this game.
Yeah. So my name is Dave. I'm the designer of the game, Paverson Games. Distilled is the first game about making whiskey, gin, rum. Lots of great games out there about wine, about beer, but nothing about this. So I decided to change that. In this game, you've inherited a distillery from a long-lost relative. It's your job to bring it back to its former glory, one of many from across the world you can choose from, different effects and powers. The real deal with the game is you are trying to run a distillery and bring it back to its former glory by crafting different alcoholic spirits throughout the game. You're going to do some resource management, where you might do things like purchase ingredients, or perhaps upgrades for your distillery to build that engine, or perhaps fancy bottles and barrels to sell it. You're going to learn new recipes, because you only know how to make moonshine and vodka at the beginning.
Right.
You got to learn some of those higher crafted spirits, and so you're going to use a different recipe list and upgrade those throughout the game. The real magic of the game happens, though, in your distillery when you are going to try and craft some sort of alcoholic spirit. What you're going to do is you're going to throw that all together in a batch. You're going to add your sugars, your yeast, your waters, and you're going to mix that all up, let it ferment with some alcohol as well. And there's a little bit of mitigate your luck, because you're actually going to take a part of the spirit and remove it. The reason for this is, in real life, when you distill alcohol, distillers know that the first part of the run that comes off the still and the last part is toxic. It's how you make nail polish remover, for instance.
Right.
Yeah. So distillers take that out, they use it in a future batch, so and we do the same thing. We have the players take the first card and the last card, and they remove them. The problem is, if you pushed your luck and didn't have enough ingredients in there, you've busted, and maybe you went from making a whiskey to a moonshine.
Right.
You're always going to make something in distilled, and you can always mitigate your luck if you really want to. You're just going to have to invest more in those ingredients, or perhaps the engine to be able to have an upgrade that changes that. If you make something like a whiskey, you age it in your warehouse, and you add different flavors in the game. That might be something like the tobacco and the honey, or it might be something like sports bag. You never know what you're going to get. It's never going to hurt you, but it is going to be something that's going to enhance that flavor, get you more money and more points as well. The game happens over 7 rounds. You make 7 different spirits. There's group awards, there's private goals, there's a solo mode as well.
Oh, cool.
And we really wanted to go for a top shelf experience in Distilled. So what we've done is we've actually added game trays to every single game. So even a retail version has game trays in it. So at the con here, we've got it, of course, for sale. We've got demos that people can sign up and play ahead of time. We've got expansions and other goodies like metal coins or neoprene mats that you can't get anywhere else as well. And then the last thing I'd want to talk about is the game we're coming out with next year is Luthier. This is where you're crafting musical instruments in the golden age of classical music. We're going to be kickstarting this next year, and the artist is going to be Vincent Dutrait as well.
Oh, an amazing artist.
Yeah, so we're very excited about that. We really think about kind of that exquisite experience in Paverson Games, top shelf experiences, art, theme, really kind of put it in to help drive the mechanics as well.
One of the things I noticed is that you've got so many cards and so many decks available to you that even if you come up with kind of one method to victory maybe in game 1, game 2 could be totally different, and you're going to have to totally change things up and all that kind of stuff as well. So
that's right. So there's 16 different distillers that you can play with, each having different powers, different special recipes that they have. But then also we have a number of different recipe cards that have different combinations. We call them tasting flights. Right. So if your group wants to play a primarily Asian-themed spirits, you choose that tasting flight. And then you have those distillers to play with. So the replayability is very strong with that. And then, of course, if you add in something like the Africa and Middle East expansion, now you're working with a different region, different spirits like Buka or Akpateshi, spirits that people have never heard of before.
I have not heard of them.
Right? And one thing we like to talk about is that, of course, there is no drinking in this game at all. You can, of course, house rule it if you wanted to. But one thing that I like to do, and I've heard other people do too, is you invite your friends over and you have the spirits that you make in the game, and you just kind of do like a tasting, like I just made cachaça from Brazil. Let's all take a taste of this as well.
That's a good way to do it. I like it.
Learn a little bit about it as well.
Awesome stuff. So you say you've got the demo and everything, and people can come and buy the game and have fun with it as well. I'm going to put you on the spot now. I forgot to ask you before the videos went live, that's what it was. Do you remember your stand number?
Yes. So we're in the center of Hall 1. We're stand 1630.
There we go.
So stand 630 in center of Hall 1, right in the middle. If you come by and snap the QR code, you can reserve a seat at a specific time you choose. So you don't have to just hope you get a spot. And we have that for both Luthier and for Distilled. Distilled obviously is finished. Luthier is just a prototype. The gameplay is finished. The art and graphic design is coming. But you're going to be one of the first people in the world to be able to play test play Luthier as well then.
Sounds absolutely amazing. Make sure to go and check them out. This looks really cool. I love these styles of games. Might come and check it out myself. That sounds pretty awesome. We're going to move on and dive into another video. Bye for now.